It's June, it's Jane's Allotment, and I'm back again. So welcome back. We have actually come down during a gap in the rain that we've been having for the last, it seems like forever, but to be honest, I think it's probably 3 days. Rain that we need, rain that the garden desperately needs, but rain that really I'm a little bit fed up of now. We've been predicted rain today. It is very dark, but it's actually quite warm. So I've got a few jobs, well, I've got a whole load of jobs I want to get done, but what I'm going to do today, if it does start to rain, I'm going to go and clear out around some of the tomatoes in the greenhouse. I need to get my globe artichokes in. I want to pot up my hanging basket, have a look round, and yeah, just have a bit of a catch up and see what's going on at this time of the year. So yeah, come on, let's go. I'm not sure if the camera or the microphone's going to pick this up, but there's a heck of a lot of crow activity going on up there today. I don't know if there's a nest being disturbed, but it keeps getting really, really loud and then goes quieter again, and then it starts up again. It's like, I don't know, something is going on in those trees and I'm not quite sure, but they're making quite a racket. Okay, what I've got here are 2 green globe artichoke that I've grown from seed. I did put about 6 in, 3 germinated, but these 2 have come on and look, they're looking like lovely, lovely, lovely healthy plants. I don't know if there's a little bit of root activity coming through the bottom. So now what I've got to do is find a place to put them. And that place is going to be there. Just there. What, Jane? In amongst all the piles of leaves? Yes, that's where. Because if I sort of scan over a little bit, oh, there's a lot of deadheading needs doing. This is where, this is by at the front of the plot as you come in the gate. And this is where, when we first moved in, I wanted to shove a load of my plants in some soil. So we cleared a bit of an area here, shoved some stuff in, and as you can see, actually most things have taken really well. But what I want, we've got to leave a bit of a pathway, an access route really, to be able to get round to clip the hedge. So, and what we're doing then, we're just leaving all the clippings on the soil. They'll rot down again. But I thought in this corner, we've got a little fig tree there. And I thought in this corner, we could put the globe artichokes. We're probably not going to harvest them, but they'll be lovely and tall, lovely and structural, bit of a shield, and perfect for the bees. So I'm going to try and clear a space there now and put them in. Okay, you can see that this is a not very promising area to put anything, but I'm always up for a challenge, such as trying to get that nettle out of the way just there, that I just held onto as I sat down. Didn't half sting. But yeah. I don't know if you can see here, but this is the hedge that we've got to keep sort of cut back. So we have almost got like a dead space at the back. So all it is really, it's quite, I should have put my gloves on, I'm not going to. It's quite easy to dig up and pull up the weeds in here. I mean, you think this whole area that you can't see that I showed you before was like this, and it's mainly, apart from the nettles, mainly annual weeds. I'm worried now that there's more nettles because that was a stinger. Right, okay. All I want to do, they are tough little plants, I hope. They're supposed to have about 3 foot between each plant. And as I say, I don't think we'll actually grow them for the globes themselves. I think we'll grow them just as flowers, just to have at the back of the border. To my, I don't know if it's on camera, I've got this fig, there we go, that I had in a pot at home that we put in last year seems to be doing okay. So whatever goes in behind it is going to have to really get on fend for itself. So look at, oh, now there's a prickly bit of hedge. Oh dear, dear. Maybe I should have done this off camera. But yeah, that's all I'm going to do. Clear in a little bit of soil, aware this bit is not going to get weeded like the rest of the, or as much as the rest of the allotment. It's going to be left to its own devices to a large extent, but hopefully, as I say, these will be able to fend them for themselves. Apparently that you can leave them, they get bigger and bigger for about 3 years, and then you're supposed to divide them and sort of replenish your stock. But I don't mind if these just stay in if they come. So anyway, hopefully these roots are going to be pretty good. Okay, they're all right. They could have stayed in a little bit longer. Keep that. But I'm going to keep the root ball together as much as possible. One. Oh heavens, right, okay. I've also got pulmonaria here, lungwort, which grows like the clappers, and I only put a little bit of that in when we moved in last year, and already it's gone mad, but it's beautiful. That'll carpet around it. So I think I'm going to put one there. Can you see? No, I'm going to put one there, just off camera. You see if I put it there? What about if I put it? The one go there. I'll do the same to that one as I do to this one. And this one, still off camera, is going here. So I'll move the camera. Done. Okay, I'm kneeling in the middle of the potato bed here, while Mike is kneeling over there by the brassica bed. To anyone looking, they'll think, what on earth are you doing? But we had a plot neighbour the other day came over with a cabbage that he'd pulled up. It looked very, very healthy on the top, very leafy, very green, but the actual root had been eaten away by cabbage root fly. So Mike is now on the case, aren't you, Mike, with our cabbages? So tell us what you're doing to try and baffle the wretched fly.
So I'm using some lime around the base of some of these early cabbage.
Which is like a traditional way, isn't it?
That's something that everybody on this allotment site pretty much uses, the top lime around fashion.
Yeah.
And the second thing that I've tried using is some of this wool matting.
All right, okay.
Which,
so that's
which came as part of a delivery from an online pasta company that you bought things from. So you get these nice big sort of sheets, insulation sheets. So what I've done is I've made a collar from that and put that around the base of the brassica.
And what does the collar do?
The collar, well, I'm going to see if it just stops the maggot from burrowing down, from burrowing down into the soil.
So it's just basically like a physical defence, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean these pieces here are just tossed around as slug deterrents, but here you can see there's actually a collar that's around that one.
Let me see.
There's a collar around it, and then there's a little bit of soil placed on top.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to see if that works as a barrier of some kind.
Okay.
And then the third thing that we're trying is inspired by a young American chap that I saw the other day. He was using tin foil.
Oh, right.
Which I'd never heard of before.
Okay.
To make really simple little collars.
So again, it's a physical barrier again, isn't it? It's not chemical.
Yeah. So you just tear into a little square of tin foil or whatever shape you want and pop it around the base of the brassica like that. This is probably where I snapped this one. There we are, gently lifting it up. And then forming a little collar around it, snugly fitting or snuggish. Okay. Like that. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of soil on top to hold it down a little bit.
Okay. And that just weights it,
And again, a little sort of physical barrier.
Yeah.
Which may or may not outwit the cunning fly.
Okay. Thanks, Mike.
We'll see at the end of the season, won't we, which ones have actually survived. They might all survive.
They might all die.
Or they might all die. And we'll have to use proper shop-bought collars in future. That might
No!
As opposed to this.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Here's a sorry sight. These are my Black Magic sunflowers, and if you look, let's just see, it's getting all windy now. If you look, they have got what looks like rust all over it. Is it rust? Fungal disease? Is rust a fungal disease? I don't know. And the thing is, it's right on the growing tips, so I don't want to remove those leaves. It's actually, Oh, well, it hasn't got any lower down. It's not too bad on the lower leaves, but you can see it's on this one. I only had a few. Just starting on that one. I mean, whatever it is now, it's spreading because I'm touching all the plants. But yeah, I don't quite know what to do about it. Are they for the burn pile? Are they goners? Is it worth persevering? I really, really don't know. So if you've had this on your sunflowers before and you know what to do about it, let me know. Here I am in my corner of things to do, and one of those things to do today is to get my hanging basket planted up, because I keep tickling this and I think it probably affects it. Yeah, I got stuff for the hanging basket ages ago. Now, I'd love to say that I'd grown it all from seed, but I haven't. I've gone to the nearest supermarket and got trays of plants to go in. So I've got this lobelia, because again, I wouldn't grow lobelia. I have tried to grow it from seed before and it was a nightmare. And I remember it was the very early days and I tried to thin out every single plant, but clearly you don't do that, you clump it. So I've got lobelia, and I think that's called Fountains Mixed or something. It's not the blue, it's more of a purpley, pinky white mix. I have got some trailing white geranium. You can see they're not exactly white, they've got like a pink in the middle. I don't know if you can see that from there, but they're actually quite pretty. Petunias, I'm not a fan, and you can tell I haven't looked after them. They all need deadheading, but they do fill a basket. So I've got those in that lovely purpley blue colour. I've got a fuchsia that probably won't go into this one. I've got these are deep red geraniums, and in my mind a geranium is red, okay, in the same way that I think daffodils are yellow. Oh, what else? Irises are blue and tulips are red as well. I used to have very, very fixed ideas on what colour a flower should be, but yeah, in my mind a geranium is always red. However, I've also gone and got some which are like a salmon colour as well. And the reason I've gone overboard on the geraniums, really, I'm not just going to be filling this hanging basket. I'm going to be doing pots. We've got a couple of steps in front of the house. The hanging basket will go by the front door and then the pots will go on the steps. And it gets absolutely baked when it's hot. It faces, or whichever way it faces, it's not directly south, I think it's southwest. So on a sunny day, it really does get all the weather, and obviously geraniums stand up very well to that. That's falling over because I haven't watered it yet and it's not very heavy. Anyway, I didn't think I'd show you me filling my hanging basket, but I've filled it. It's a mix of all sorts of different compost, and before I do anything else, I am going to put in a handful of this all-purpose continuous release plant food as well, just to give it a bit of oomph. You know, the thing is with these, they look like slugs' eggs. And so when you sort of like emptying your containers, you think, oh, I've got loads of slugs' eggs. It could be continuous release plant food. Mix that in. And the other thing that I found really, really useful, I wish this was heavier now. I wonder if I should, no, I'm going to leave, I'm going to carry on. The show must go on. The other thing that I'm going to put in are some, what are they called? Aqua something, and then the labels over the top. Water retention crystals. Because yeah, we all know that sometimes, especially with the storm we had last year, your pots and things needed watering not even just once a day, but a couple of times a day. And Mike's just arrived and he's going to walk right into shot, or he's going to disturb Rocky. Oh, it's not Mike, it's my friend Alan. 1 second. Where was I? Right, that was Alan coming in for a nice chat. And the great thing is, all the lettuce that I'd pulled up around the tomatoes in the greenhouse, he's taking for his chickens. Result, although it might be a bit spicy and I think the chickens might want a bit of water, but I did warn him. Anyway, okay, back to my hanging basket. What you do want to make sure, think of the aspect. Obviously, if it's in a shady spot, something like petunias is going to do better than your geraniums. If it's in I've actually got in my backyard, so obviously that's the opposite to the front and is quite dark. I've got a hanging basket that's just ivy, and it's lovely. It's variegated ivy, and it was one of these baskets that I'd planted up for the year, but with the ivy being perennial, I just left that in, and it's now just like a hanging pot of variegated ivy, and it's great because in the winter it's there when everything else has died off, and yeah, it's quite nice. So yeah, beware of the aspect, or not beware. Don't beware of your aspect, be wary of your aspect. I've been thrown now completely talking to Alan. Right, the other thing to be aware of is think about where your chains are going to go and which is the front and which is the back. Okay, so I am going to have the front facing me. That's Rocky. He's probably going to knock the tripod over. I'm going to have the front facing me, which is going to be fun for you because you're not going to be able to see very much, but I'll just give you the general idea of what I'm going to do. First thing is to try and think of what I'm going to put in the centre, and I was going to do a fuchsia. I'm going to do one of my lovely, lovely red, bullseye red geraniums. These are soaked actually. I'm doing it completely the wrong way around. I'm putting soaked plants into dry soil. I'll wet the soil soon enough. Right, okay. I'm actually going to put it at an angle. I'm terrible for putting things at angles. I know it annoys lots of people. But yeah, I can't do things in like symmetrical. They've always got to be angled. That probably says something about personality. Okay, so I'm going to put a red one there, and then I'm following that with a salmon pink one. I do love these what are they called? Zonal leaves. Absolutely gorgeous. Right, probably should have put that further back. So I've got red, I have got my salmon coloured one, and they actually should fill already. Tip this pot over. I'm going to have to put something in the pot. What can I put? I could do with a brick. Where's a handy brick when you need one? I'll put that in. That's not very heavy. Don't know. It'll get heavier as I go on, I hope. And then around those, I'm going to put. I've got my petunias. I've got my I'll put a couple of petunias in first. I'm reckoning 2 petunias. Hello, Rocky. 2 petunias. They're ready to go in. 2 of the trailing geraniums, and then just fill in the gaps with the lobelia, to be honest. So I'm going to put 1 here. I'm not bothering to tease out the roots or anything at all like that. They will find their way soon enough. Got 1 there. Oh, I will tease that one. This makes me laugh when I say we've got to tease the roots. Right, silly roots. Okay, that one's going in there. So hopefully already we're going to have stuff trailing over the edge. And then I've left no room whatsoever for, oh yes I have, for the trailing white ones, which I've got 4. Now these are absolutely beautiful. They've got ivy shaped leaves. That was a rotten one actually, typical. I will leave it. But ivy shaped zonal leaves, I'm going to just fill the gaps with those. I mean, when you think, you know, if you go to a garden centre, this actual basket is huge because it was one we treated ourselves from our local garden centre, a good few years ago now, and we've used it and used it and used it. But going back there a couple of weeks ago, I was looking at this size planted up, and they were £30. And so, okay, I've probably spent about £10, if that. 2, 4, 6, 8, yeah, about £10 on plants. But these plants are not only going to do the basket, they are going to do several pots, maybe a window box, and yeah, and I might even pass some on to my mum. But yeah, so it's worth doing. It's just a little bit extra fiddle. I mean, obviously you've got to pay for the compost as well, but you know, as gardeners, we've usually got a few bits of compost in. So, right, this is it so far. It looks like a right mess. But okay, I'll show you the front. Which is the front? That's the front. You have got red, salmon, blue, white, and all I'm going to do now is this liner actually I thought had little, it's got little holes in for you to put things in. I'm not going to put any hanging things at the back. I can't remember where the back is now, because they will, you know, just get squished. Which one's the back? That's the back with the red geranium. Okay. But yeah, I'm just going to put the lobelia in where I can, just fit it in, and hopefully that'll mix in with all the others. Oh, poor thing, look. Honestly, can you imagine when I first did it and I was taking all those apart one at a time? So these are just going to go. I'm putting them in the top in the first instance, and then if I can find some gaps around the side, I'll put them around there as well. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so I've got plenty to play with. And obviously this amount of plants in one little pot is going to need, you know, some tender loving care. And that's what I'll give it. There we have it. Looks like a bit of a tangled mess at the moment, but I have every faith that these are going to be cascading over the edge very, very shortly. And yeah, I mean, I've said before I don't do themes. I can't remember what colours I've got in there now. Red, pink, white, blue, purples, all sorts. But yeah, I'll come back to it in a couple of weeks and show you what it looks like in situ. But for one, I'm very pleased. You know what, it's nice to sit down for a minute actually. It's actually turned out really quite nice. As I mentioned before, we've had almost torrential rain. Maybe I'm overplaying it a bit there, but lots of rain for the last couple of days. And you sort of get a bit fed up of thinking to yourself, it's good for the garden, it's good for the garden, because it's not very good for me getting in the garden. But what it means is, coming up today, I can really see a difference, not just with weeds, which actually aren't too bad, but things have really started to put on a bit of weight. So I haven't shown you the kohlrabi this time, but we're going to be harvesting one of those to take home tonight because it's doing really well. So yeah, the garden absolutely needed it. It has made the soil, a lot of people say, yeah, but once you dig down a couple of inches, the soil's still dry. No, our soil now, it feels like it's had a really good drench, as have my plants, which I don't know if you can see the result of under the table. It's literally, this is what you get. It's just, I've literally just sat down in the middle of doing 101 different things, so it's not very pretty at the moment. You've got the bin with the compost in there, you've got all the soil off the plants there. But that's the way it goes. I've actually been down here a lot longer than I thought already. Yeah, I thought I was just going to be dodging in and out the showers, but yeah, I think I'm going to be down here a few hours yet. I don't know when this video is going to get out. But yeah, so I've done my hanging basket. What else have I done? Oh, I've got those artichokes in. I'm really pleased about that. What I am going to do, I've given them a really good water in, but I'm going to put some sort of collar around them to protect them from slugs because I have only got the 2. I have got another 2 on here somewhere that I put in as seeds for a friend, but they are promised to them, so I can't go pilfering their plants. So yeah, I'll be looking after those 2, and hopefully now they've hit the soil, they should take off as well. But Mike's just followed me down today. He's been on a bike ride today, so he's only got here about 20 minutes ago. And if you saw the last video, you'll have heard about Mike's fantastic anniversary, even though I say it myself, from me, which was the day course with Charles Dowding. And his maybe not quite as glamorous, but, you know, useful present to me, which was the ball of sea salt that I'm allergic to string and the 3-in-1 oil. So I think it's playing on his conscience a bit, because he actually came around the corner today with one of these. Which, you know, I've always been quite fascinated by. I hope you can see that on there. It's one of these good, I'm going to bring it up, one of these good bird feeders. Can you see that? Can you see it? Can you see it now? I think you can. Yeah, and I just think it's fun. I mean, to think somebody has hollowed that out and it's dried and cured, and it's actually, yeah, it seems really effective. So I was really pleased with that. But also, Looking at my squash and seeing what everyone else is planting this year, I was starting to think, oh, mine are a bit boring. I've only got a couple of different types, and it's not one of my staple foods. But if you remember, we've got an archway between the greenhouses, or just in front of the greenhouses, and I've planted some honeysuckle, evergreen honeysuckle, to go up one side, and I've bought, what did I buy? Oh, pyracantha to go up the other side. But to be honest, it doesn't feel right. Are you like this with your garden? Sometimes things just don't feel right. So I'm going to find another spot for that. And I was looking at getting some squash to climb up. Now, all the squash that I've put in at the top in the squash patch produce quite weighty fruits, if you like. So I'm going to be looking these ones up, because Mike also bought me, he does feel guilty, these squash. And we have got, I've not heard of these ones before, which is great, you know, because if I can keep the seeds and do them, or we'll just try them. They might be horrible, but let's hope not. There is squash Queensland Blue, which is already producing little flowers on there. So that's Queensland Blue. We have got, oh, this one looks great, an Italian squash called Marina di Chioggia. Now, Chioggia seems to pop up every now and then. I know with beetroot, you know, we've got our Chioggia beetroot in it. It's very, very nice. I wonder what it means. You can tell me what it means before I get a chance to Google it. It must mean something important. Is it just Italian? It probably is. But anyway, that is, again, it looks like a lovely one of those warty winter squash types. So I'm excited about that. But then the one I'm most excited about, this one, cabbage. And it says it's Italian. Now, am I getting this right? Hold on. Yeah, I am. The cabbage is like a Japanese squash, even though it says Italian squash. When I've looked it up, it says it's a Japanese squash, and it's meant to have an even sweeter flesh than butternut. So it's absolutely brilliant for cooking. So I think that is going to go around the arch at the front. Obviously, I'm going to have to put something in there for my weighty fruits. Yes, to support my weighty fruits, if I get any. But I'm hoping it's not one that you need two of. Oh, there's a green fly. I'm hoping it's not going to be one that you need two of to pollinate each other or anything. But yeah, I'll put that in and keep an eye on it, and then it won't get lost with all the other squash. So yeah, 3 new squash there. And a gourd feeder. The things you get. Things that make me happy. That's great. Anyway, what else to tell you? Oh yeah, I'm off to Gardener's World next Sunday, so I'm not going to be filming next Sunday. I'll try and get something filmed during the week. But it's the Gardener's World and Good Food Live exhibition at the NEC in Birmingham. So do let me know if you're going. I know there's a couple of us are going to meet up and have a little natter, which should be nice. Maybe a natter and a cuppa, be even nicer. So yeah, if you're going, let me know, or if you see me, just say hello. I'll probably be wandering around looking really cross, because I haven't got my glasses on, I won't be able to see a thing, but I'll be squinting at everything. So yeah, do say hello and let me know if you're going. And gone again. I need a list. I keep telling myself I need a list, but I need a list to put down the fact I need a list on, if you get what I mean. Anyway, loving it down here at the moment. We have, which is very, very naughty, we have taken a few new potatoes. This was last night. I just couldn't resist. I was going to film digging a few up, but we needed something for tea last night, and we dug up some of our Charlottes, just enough for a couple of people, and I think it was 2 plants, and oh, they are so, so beautiful. Hardly any skin at the moment. And so they just absolutely melted in the mouth. I could have had a whole bowl of just the potatoes with butter on. They were delicious. So if you have got enough, maybe sacrifice just 1 plant, just for yourself. Treat yourself to a little bowl of premature new potatoes. They're so, so nice. And the other thing we had with them, again, our broad beans are still on the catch-up. They're not, I know some people are talking about pulling theirs out very soon, but ours is about halfway towards harvest now. But if you, I've not done this before, but if you pull them as young pods, you can steam them then, which we did. We steamed them above the potatoes, and you know, they're delicious. they're delicious. I can imagine if you get them and they're slightly too big, they're probably a bit hairy. But these, just as young pods, eaten whole, with steamed with, again, a little bit of butter on the potatoes. Absolutely gorgeous. So, yeah, really, really lovely. Oh, and I'll tell you what else we've been picking. We've been picking our own spinach and our own pak choy. And it's just so nice to be able to pick things and not have to go out and hand over hard-earned cash at the supermarket to pay extortionate prices for things that frankly just don't taste as nice. So yeah, more of that please. That's going to be great. I don't know why I've got my glasses on, can't see. There we go. Hello. Again, a year ago we didn't even have this plot. It's just so nice. I just can't believe it, you know. We haven't had this time of year at this plot yet, and so it's all fresh again and new. And whereas I said, I know when you've had a plot for years it's wonderful and you can change it and everything and you're used to it, but the frustration with the old plot was it was too small. We just couldn't do what we wanted to. So yeah, it's really, really good. Our strawberries aren't ready yet. I'm looking at them now. Or if they are ready, the slugs have had them first. We haven't covered them. We need to cover them. We will cover them. That's another job for today. Another job of things that keep needing doing. Just when you think you're done, Mike brings in 3 more squash. So yeah, I'll go and put those in now. We still haven't put the raspberries in. Oh my goodness me, we're not going to get any raspberries at this rate. But yeah, we're getting there and I'm loving it. Okay, but I'm going to go. I hope you are enjoying better weather than I've been enjoying, and even if you have had the rain, it has done the soil some good. So hopefully when you get out, when it's sunny again, you're going to be able to reap the benefits of that. So yeah, I'm going to go. Have a lovely week, and yeah, hopefully see you soon. Bye. Oh, no. I always forget. I'm absolutely rubbish at this. Self-promotion, honestly, it's not my strong point at all, but please, I mention it every time, go and have a look at the Instagram page, regular updates on there. Join in on Facebook if you're on Facebook. We've got a lovely group going, and please subscribe, because sometimes I think there's nobody looking, there's nobody watching, and I know there's a few of you who always comment, and that's absolutely wonderful, and it really makes my day reading all the comments. It's wonderful. But yeah, subscribe. Hit the bell so you get some notification when I put a video out, which is very often. You're not going to get with loads of bells going off. And yes, now I will say goodbye. Okay, there's always something else to say, isn't there? I need a clapperboard. Okay, so I will go now, and I'll see you soon. Bye.